Hi, everybody. It's Deanna Fenton here, and I want to welcome you to this week's episode of Simple Steps to Online Success. So, I don't know if you noticed, I took a break. So, I have not gone live here on my page or in the Kajabi Kickstart group for about 3 weeks. And it really is just a matter of, I'll be honest, kind of being burned out on it. Because I don't know if any of you also do live video for your business on Facebook, that is. I am also right now live on YouTube, which is frankly a much better use of my time. But those of you on Facebook and those of you who may be using live video on your Facebook pages and in your groups, have you noticed the decline in reach on your videos? It is disconcerting to say the least. Now, I have been going live for, I want to say, close to 3 years. And I jumped on it immediately, started doing Facebook Lives, have consistently done them up until the last 3 weeks, every single week. And I have never seen such low reach on content that I create. So it's really interesting to me. The whole point originally of everybody jumping on the Facebook Live bandwagon was the extended reach that Facebook was offering to those of us who are doing live video. Not anymore. Let me just say that. The other problem I'm seeing, and I hope I'm kind of checking right now, if you will indulge me just for a second. I see I'm live on my page. I could not see the pending post in my group. So I'm going to go over here real quick and check because I did try sharing it. And okay, I am going live. Alrighty. Feel a little bit of relief. But we've been having trouble also sharing videos into Facebook groups. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we're going to do about this. So again, so glad you're here. I want to let you know. I don't know who you are, but so sweet of you to say that. I really appreciate all of you as well. It's my sincere hope that these videos help everybody. I'm getting fantastic response from people on YouTube. Thanks to my dear channel manager, Ryan, who takes these Facebook Lives and edits them, puts in all the right tags and keywords and descriptions and titles and all the good stuff. And we're getting really good exposure on YouTube. If you please click the link in the post because it says that you need to give StreamYard permission to show your name and your profile. It would be, but thank you, whoever you are, really appreciate it. So today's topic came out of a question in my paid membership, the Kajabi Flight Crew Club, from one of my members. And it's really a good question because it does get talked about as it pertains to your Kajabi site. And it's really important that we have a sense of the kind of traffic that's coming to our pages, whether it's our websites, our sales pages, opt-in pages, any of our content, so that we can improve, right? The whole point of this is sometimes we have to, modify and test and redo things to try and improve our conversions. So how do we do that without valid data? And and I'm going to share with you, of course, one, show you the specific problem. I'll give you a real world example. And I'm going to share with you a couple of free tools that you can use to help you with this. And so my Facebook user is Mary Kay Burke. Thank you, Mary Kay. So glad you're here. Alrighty. So let's talk about the problem. And I will. Isn't it funny? 3 weeks off, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I can't even remember how to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, sharing my screen. Hang on one sec. The one thing I do want to do, I notice sometimes if I have my name showing, it blocks and you can't see. So I want to make sure you can see what I'm showing you. Alrighty, here we go. Now, you can find your page stats on any of your landing pages by here. Let's show exactly. So these are my landing pages. I don't know if you have this yet. They now separate out website pages from landing pages from pipeline pages. Just a little heads up, because I'm of the belief that you should create your website pages from landing pages and not the website pages that Kajabi gives you. My home page happens to be a landing page. If you click the 3 dots to the right, you will see that you have the option to see your page statistics, your page stats. Now, I would love to say that I have had 276,000 views of my homepage. Let me tell you, if I had that many page views and I wasn't making $1 million, I'd be pretty pissed. Just saying. The problem with Kajabi statistics is anytime you look at your own page, it counts. Kajabi has no way of screening out your views of your page. So that's very, very frustrating, because when we're building a page, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at it constantly. So now, mind you, this particular home page has been up since, my guess is 2019. So I'm no doubt have a lot of views on that page, but certainly not 276,000, just for the record. Now, you'll see, you can also see opt-ins and you can see conversion rate, and those are 0. And that's very simple. This is not a landing page for people to opt in and convert. So opt-ins, it's not going to track opt-ins because there's not a form on there. It's not going to track conversions because it's not a thank you page that's received data from an opt-in. So opt-ins and conversion rates in this situation, it's irrelevant, really. But my point is 276,000, not realistic. And you can see down here, if it was set up for a conversion, then it would show me conversions. So this is a problem, and it's especially a problem if we're talking about a sales page, because we want to know data about whether or not people are converting. First of all, how much traffic is getting sent to that sales page and the conversions on that sales page. So as much as I love Kajabi, you guys know me, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to call on them when it's not something that it has is not necessarily valuable for you. And your stats here, maybe on an opt-in page, but we're going to talk about that. It not necessarily, because again, it's not going to screen out the traffic coming from you checking your page. I will share with you, well, I'll just go ahead and say it. What I know some people do is they will work on a page, work on a page, work on a page, check a page, verify it, preview it, on and on and on. And then when they're done, they'll clone it so they have a clean copy. So that's an option. You could always do that. To me, that's kind of an extra step that would annoy me, because still, if I go back and check that page, it's still going to track my view of that page. So here is my favorite tool. I know I've talked about this before, although when we went back and looked at, because I didn't necessarily want to repeat content, but I will if it's important. I talk about Google Analytics. Now, we all know Google gives away a lot of tools for marketers for free. And part of that is obviously self-serving on their behalf. I mean, they get data from it. It's okay. It's kind of a, everybody gets what they need out of this. So I don't have a problem with it. But Google Analytics, free tool, massively valuable. I mean, the amount of marketing intelligence that you can extract from having Google Analytics set up on your website is incredible. Now, it can also be extremely overwhelming. So we're only going to talk about kind of the basics that I think are super important for you, and how you can make that data more accurate, because Google kind of has the same issue as Kajabi. If we are previewing and looking at and accessing our pages, unless we tell Google to exclude us, Google's going to count it as well. But the benefit is with Google, we can tell Google to exclude our content or our views. So if you do not have Google Analytics, please, please, please sign up for it. Honestly, it's invaluable and it costs you nothing. When you set up your account, it's going to give you a little number. It's going to give you it's going to give you tracking code, but that's okay. You don't need to use the tracking code, because Kajabi, in its infinite wisdom, under third-party integrations, will give you a place that you can tack in the Google Analytics ID code that Google's going to give you for your account. So they make it easy. Once that's done, Google will start tracking visits to all your pages, including your pages for your products. So that is less important, because from what I have seen, the progress tracking by your students or members is only their access. So you can very easily see who's logged in and the content that they've consumed and completed. So that's kind of a separate thing. You don't have to worry about tracking that, but Google will track visits to your products. So once you have that, you set up your free account, you grab that little tracking code, you paste it under third-party integrations, and then, woohoo, you have access to a gold mine of data. So the simple basic part is how many people hit your website. And I am going to share with you how we make sure that data is excluding you. Okay. But most important thing, it's going to give you users sessions. So It can track users because, again, it's tracking based on IP address, the person's IP address. So it knows if people access your site more than once. So that's why sessions is more than users, because some of those users had multiple visits to the site during this time period. And you can control the time period, 7 days, 14 days, lifetime, whatever. Bounce rate. Bounce rate used to be how long they stayed on their first page that they landed on. That's since been changed. It's been changed a long time, where bounce rate also takes into account, do they only visit one page? So for example, they may hit a home page, but then not progress to another page. That's a bounce. That's considered a bounce. So that's something you want to track, because ideally you don't want people to bounce either, within a set period of time, like 30 seconds, they're gone, or they hit one page and they never go in anyplace else. And then the average time they spend on your site. So you can see all of these. I could see Wednesday, July 21st. I had a lot more users. I believe that was probably, Wednesday versus Wednesday the 23rd. I'm thinking that spike was when I was promoting the Kajabi deal, the recent promotion that Kajabi had. I'm pretty sure that's why that is. So how do I acquire my users? It will show me the traffic channel. Direct means they literally either bookmarked my URL, they typed it into their browser. Referral is they clicked a link somewhere that sent them to my page. And social means that they came from a social media post. So we can look at where our referrals are coming from. So here, the Kajabi app, interestingly enough, is a source of traffic to my site. That might be my members, right? My members accessing through the Kajabi app, coming to my library, or their library, actually. Facebook on mobile, Facebook direct, YouTube. And YouTube is becoming a big source of traffic for me, which is fantastic. So you're starting to see, right? We're getting a lot of data, and there's lots and lots of cool things we can do with this. So here, if I look, it's showing me what pages people are accessing. So just this / here typically means the root of my site, which is my homepage. So in this case, in this time frame, there was 39 page views. There were 12 page views of my login screen. So once again, those are students and members. It's still good information to have. The Kajabi promo, that was a landing page advertising the Kajabi affiliate program, the 3 months for $99. My coaching programs, the library, blog, etc. So once again, it's good information to have, to know what are the pages that people are visiting. Now you see over here, there's page value. If we're talking a landing page, you can establish what a page value is. For example, what is the value in dollars for somebody hitting your sales page if they convert, right? If they convert. So you can have that to track that. User retention, that's a bit less important for me, quite honestly, but you can see how the active users trend over time. Are you getting more traffic? Are you getting less traffic? So, and you can see this is just the tip of the iceberg, because it just happens that this is a summary, and you can customize this summary to any of the reports and the data that you really want to see that is most important for you. And that you do that under this customization. So under reports, you can see real time. So actually, if I click on this and if there were people right now live on my homepage, it would show me that. So that's kind of cool. If, let's say, you're doing a webinar and during the webinar, you open your cart, you can be running a real-time view of your sales page to see how many people are now hitting your sales page. Just kind of an example. And again, it will show you where they came from, your traffic sources, etc. Audience, and I am not going to go through every single one of these, but this can be really, really good information. Now, once again, remember, Google in their infinite generosity is gathering data. There's no two ways about it. They are gathering data. So if you see demographics, and that only tends to be valid if people have given permission, because, you know, there are some good rules now about this. So people actually need to give permission. It's not like they're really, you know, magically seeing through the computer to see that I'm a female over 60, right? So you can see here in my situation, it's sharing with me that almost 46% of the people are female and 54% are male. Interesting. So you can see, obviously, age. Actually, I think that might have just been an example, because here it's showing me 18 to 24, 24. Anyway, yeah. So it's interesting. I bet the younger people are coming from YouTube. I can guarantee you that. And again, gender, we've got that. So interests, and again, interests are only if people actually have provided that kind of information. So the audience part, frankly, for me, I want to know how many people are accessing my site on desktop versus mobile. Why? Well, almost everybody's using mobile these days, right? But you want to also make sure that any of your pages are optimized for mobile. So ironically here in this time frame, I can't even see the time frame here. It looks like it's only 7 days. 75 people, or 83%, were on desktop, and only just roughly 17% were on mobile. So you start to get a sense of where and how people are accessing your site. Now, user flow, I showed this to one of my members when we were reviewing this very same information, and it blew his mind, because this, believe me, this one is gold. It shows you where people start. So in this particular scenario, 115 sessions total, and there was 95% or 95 of that 115 dropped off, meaning they did not go any farther on my site. So 43 of those landed on the homepage. Now, if we follow these little lines, we can see where did they go from my homepage. So here, 4 of them went to my blog. So that is through traffic. And actually, now it's showing from the blog, 3 stopped there. They dropped off. So they hit the blog, they read what was on the blog, and then they were gone. But 1 went even farther, and that's where we follow this line. And they ended up at the resource library, which is on my site. So this tells you where people are dropping off and where they are continuing and where they're going. So if you are looking at your sales page, for example, and you can see they go from your sales page to the checkout, and then they bail, they never make it to the thank you, or they never make it to the library, you got a problem on your checkout. Or if they hit the sales page and they don't go anywhere, you got a problem on the sales page. So can you guys see how valuable this information is? It's just incredible. Okay. Acquisition. I mean, we could be here all day going over these reports. I'm just showing you the key ones that I think are good for you to track. You want to know where your traffic is coming from, right? So under so acquisition means how do you get site visitors? If I go to referrals, it's going to show me. So once again, the Kajabi app, which is probably my students, my members, I should say. Facebook, YouTube, more Facebook. Ooh, and I got a link from Not Your Average Grandma, which is interesting because I was recently on a podcast episode, so she must have published the podcast episode. So that's good to know. So my referrals channels is more of a broader overview. So direct traffic, meaning somebody typed in the link, saved a bookmark, and clicked on a bookmark and came direct to my site. Again, my members. Social organic search, meaning they went to Google and they typed something and they found me. And referral traffic. And referral traffic would be, again, like Not Your Average Grandma podcast, sent traffic as a referral. Pretty good information, right? We want to keep on top of that. Behavior, once again, we've got that behavior flow idea. Again, it's the same information as far as I can see here. My content, if I look at all my pages, and this was on the home page in a summary form, what are the primary entry points, first pages that people are landing on and visiting? So homepage, login, the promotion sales page, my coaching programs, the blog, etc. And you can see there it also tracks the products. Now, you can, again, there's tons and tons of data we can get into, but I want to talk about conversions because this is where Google really, really does trump Kajabi in tracking your results. If you want to track your conversions, so let's have a scenario of you have an opt-in that goes to a thank you page and you want to track your conversions. How many people land on the landing page, but then submit their information on a form, and then they get redirected to the thank you page? Access and landing on the thank you page signifies a conversion. You can create a goal, and I won't go into a whole lot of detail because it does have a pretty good explanation of how you track this stuff. And you're going to track a goal, and your goal can be conversions on my opt-in, and it's going to say, tell me the pages that you want to track. Well, you want to track the opt-in page because you want to know the traffic that hits that opt-in, and you want to track the thank you page, and you identify the thank you page as how you want to signal a conversion. So when you do that, anybody that hits that thank you page counts as a conversion. So same thing with a sales page. Now, the fun thing with a sales page is you can track the dollar value of that conversion. So if you're selling a $497 course, and you can track them from sales page to your conversion page, whatever that is, you can track that not only was that a conversion, but it was worth $497 for you. Or if you have other statistics about the lifetime value of a customer, once they become a customer, maybe that $497 is actually more like $1,000, because you know that once they're a customer, they have a tendency to keep purchasing. I'm telling you, this is fantastic information. Now, remember what I said, however, Google can distinguish between our visits and the public's visits, but you have to tell it. Now, what I do is under the admin, there is an option called filters. And in filters, you can, here in this situation, exclude your IP address. Now, I know there's some people that get all pissy about this, and they say, well, you know, if you're working at someplace else and it's a dynamic IP address and you're at Starbucks and you're using Starbucks, it's not going to exclude you. Well, that's true. But if you're typically working out of your home on your desktop, your laptop, your mobile device, you can very easily Google the term, what's my IP address? And you can exclude your IP address from Google's tracking, the analytics tracking. So that's an easy way to do it. Now, yes, there are some times that your ISP might do something called a dynamic IP address, where your IP address may change based on the new sessions. I know that's we're starting to get techie, but the good news is you can also choose the option. Typically, if it's going to have a dynamic IP address, the first part will stay the same, but the last part of that IP address may change. So you can choose the option that it begins with any part of the IP address, and then it just uses that kind of like a wild card, and it will exclude anything with that part of the IP address, even though the latter part of it changes. Started going around a rabbit hole with that. I apologize. Just know there is a pretty foolproof way to exclude your content. So I just wanted to let you know that, because again, this information, if you can spend days on it, I don't want you to spend days on it. Pick the few bits of the reports that you think are most important to you. Goals is a great one, especially if you're looking at a pipeline and you want to watch for any drop off on your pipelines. People are hitting this page and then they're not moving on. You want to track that kind of information. Oh, I've got a question. Does it have a way for you to have a store print on demand apps like Printify? No, no, I won't. There is an easy way to connect Kajabi with Shopify Lite. And Shopify, to my knowledge, does have print on demand with Printify. So let me give you a quick example, because it's a little off topic, but my good friend Danielle uses Kajabi. She used Shopify Lite to sell t-shirts, and the t-shirts were print on demand, and she can have people land on a Kajabi page. They can choose a t-shirt, choose this, and a little widget pops out, which is the Shopify Lite, right on the Kajabi page. And they can choose the size. They can choose to go to the cart. The cart is on Shopify, and they check out, and the whole process goes from there. So if you're using Kajabi, it's real easy to incorporate Shopify Lite and be able to sell a physical product or a print on demand. So that's that. And my understanding is Shopify Lite is like It was $9 a month. It's really, really inexpensive. Awesome. Okay. So I told you now, I've just showed you how you can use Google Analytics and to get much, much more accurate and actionable data for your sites. Now, how would you like to peek over the shoulder of somebody landing on your sales page to see what they see and to see what they actually read and look at? And I know that sounds really crazy, but you can do it. It's with my next favorite free tool. And that is a tool called Hotjar. And what Hotjar is and does is you can sign up for free and you get a little piece of code, no code editor access required. You put this little piece of code under your site settings and you set it up where you could tell Hotjar, I would like you to track how people access or what people do on this page. So there's two things. There's something called the heat map. And the heat map kind of aggregates the actions of everybody who comes to your page. So you can see what was hot. In other words, the parts of your sales page that people tended to spend the most time and the parts of your sales page that they skipped right over. So this is, I did a flash sale back in June. If I look at the heat map, and you can look at it desktop versus mobile versus tablet. See the little I don't know what you call them, the little marks. There was 3 people who clicked. So that's just showing me that people clicked on it. And you can scroll down. Nobody clicked on that one. That's really interesting. Yeah, this is not as exciting as one would think. So this would tend to show you more along the lines. I misspoke. Obviously, it shows you more clicks than anything. Now, the other thing it does that I really like is these are recordings. So remember I said you're looking over their shoulder and seeing what they're doing? That's what the recordings do. On your free account, you can get up to 300 recordings. If you hit 300, you can reset it by just deleting old recordings, which is what I do. And it shows you, first of all, you can't really see who these people are. You can see where they're from. And even that's a little suspect. It's showing you where their IP address is being generated from. So in this case, and it gives you, they assign it a random user ID. So you could actually see if that person comes back multiple times. So if I'm just looking, and these are, I guess we stopped, I must have stopped it at some point. I'll tell you right now, I think this is my lovely assistant, Jenny, from the Philippines, accessing when she's uploading content. And I'm going to come down here and find, so there's a lot of these are people hitting my blog. Somebody hitting my coaching program. I would kind of like if I could find that sales page to show you. Right now, these are all website pages. I guess let's try the next batch. Yes. Okay, join us. So let me find a good one. So I don't want to do the wait list. Okay, join us. So let's look at this person. So this person from the US landed on my sales page and they spent 4 minutes on a sales page. So if I click, okay, so first thing, they're on mobile. Now, if any of you watched the video I did about Video Ask and how the mistakes I made, this was a mistake. You see how big my little Video Ask video is in the lower right-hand corner? That was a mistake. I also did not put a way that people could dismiss that. So that was a big mistake on my part. Just totally honest. So I'm looking at this and they landed on it and they're not doing anything. So I'm going to skip inactivity. And how weird. So somebody landed and they were inactive for 3 minutes. Cannot track iframes embedded in your page. Okay. Sorry, this was not worth watching. Okay, let's try another one. I just love randomly trying things. I don't want that one. Let's try this one. Okay, this person is on a desktop and they're scrolling. So this is what I like to see. They're scrolling, they stop at testimonials. So, and I have seen this with a lot of the recordings on Hotjar. So it tells me that testimonials are important and people do stop and read. Now, all the great things that I offer in the membership, mastermind calls, co-working, monthly training, community, they stopped and they're reading that. I don't know how long they're reading that. Okay, now he's going. He, she, I don't know. So they did focus and they read what's on there. They skipped over me and they landed on the pricing. And so now they're reading it. And you just saw their cursor come down. You see that with the little yellow circle on it? So they're focused on the monthly. Up, and they just zipped across. I'm not sure what that signifies other than they're reading monthly training. Come down. Yep, back up. And they're scrolling down. Are they going to click join now? I don't think so. And they scroll down. Here we go. Another testimonial. And who this membership is not for caught their eye. Because you see that? They started to scroll past it and then they zipped right back up. So that's interesting. And that was it. That was it. Now, well, I definitely had people sign up. So I don't know where all my people are. Unfortunately, I think those are not on here. They might have gotten deleted. But especially for a sales page, this is really, really good information because it's really showing you, I'm just for the heck of it, I'm going to grab this person who is on my, landed on a coaching page. So let's take a look. Okay, now see how their cursor is moving? And this is kind of fascinating. I hadn't looked at this one, I guess. So they're checking out the options and how much I'm charging. And this is really weird. Okay. They're reading testimonial and they're gone. So I just want to share this with you because, again, whenever we're talking about a sales page, you can get some good information. So what did I learn? I learned that people like reading testimonials. I learned that who this is not for is a compelling enough headline that makes people stop. I wonder, it would be interesting to test and see maybe how I could change what's included in the membership and see if that makes them spend more time by changing a headline, by changing the copy. So again, that is Hotjar. Understand how users behave on your site, what they need, and how they feel fast, which is a pretty impressive positioning statement. I'll just to give them actual props on that. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, these are free. Yes, they're a little techy, but it can give you some fantastic information. What I would do is start with Google Analytics because that's going to give you great feedback as it pertains to your site overall, particularly your homepage and your internal pages. You can track by setting goals. You can track an actual conversion rate, whether it's for a lead magnet on an opt-in page or a sales page. And if you're doing sales pages and you want to look at increasing your conversions by seeing how people react and interact with your content, Hotjar is a great tool as well. Hope that was helpful. And I want to make sure that you all know if there are topics you'd like to see me cover, I am more than happy to get suggestions from you. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and do hashtag replay and let me know. Any questions, especially for those of you watching on the replay, you can put them in the comments below and I'll circle back and get you an answer. So hopefully that was helpful. And I would love to see you back here next week on Simple Steps to Online Success. And if you ever need to contact me, it's Deanna@deannafenton.com. Have a fantastic rest of your week and weekend. Bye-bye.